Hello and welcome to the agenda. I am Ajay Kaul. In this program today we will discuss about another attempt being made by India and China to diffuse tensions at the line of actual control. Top military commanders of India and China today held one more round of talks to find ways for ending the face-off at the line of actual control. This was the sixth round of core commander level talks since the face-off began in May. Significantly, a joint secretary from the Ministry of External Affairs was also a part of this round of military level talks. From India's point of view, the agenda is clear, that is complete pullback by Chinese troops from all the friction points. But will China budge? We will try to analyze this situation with former top army official Lieutenant General Vinod Bhatia, who has served as Director General of Military Operations. But before we start our conversation, let us have a look at this small report.
Amidst heightened tension at the line of actual control in Ladakh sector, top military commanders of India and China held one more round of talks today to diffuse the tension. This was the sixth round of military-level talks between the two sides since China launched aggression in May to change the status quo on the LAC. The Lieutenant General level meeting was held near the traditional Chinese border post in Moldo near eastern Ladakh. A joint secretary from the Ministry of External Affairs also attended the meeting. The earlier rounds of talks, including at the level of national security advisors, foreign ministers and defense ministers, have not yielded the desired results due to China's belligerence. At a meeting between Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar and his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi in Moscow on September 10th on the sideline of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meet, the two sides had reached a 5-point agreement on diffusing tensions. The agreement includes measures like quick disengagement of troops, avoiding action that could escalate tensions, adherence to all agreements and protocols on border management, and steps to restore peace along the LAC. However, China has not implemented the agreement, nor it is showing any inclination to do so. India has been maintaining that the tension can reduce once China sincerely undertakes complete disengagement and pulls back its troops from all the friction points. However, China, instead of withdrawing its army, has been scaling up the number of its troops and military hardware along the LAC. India too has carried out the mirror deployment of troops and weapon system to meet any eventuality. Bureau Report.
Now let's welcome our special guest, General Bhatia. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir. So I'll refer you to the talks that are taking place, or that took place today between India and China, core commander level talks. So how do you see this another round of talks to diffuse tensions?
I see it as a good sign because on the 10th of September, the External Affairs Minister had met Mr. Wang Yi, and thereafter the talks were proposed, but they're not being held. China has taken a long time to respond to the talks, and the talks are being held at Moldo, and this is the core commanders level talks, so that means something should be moving ahead. It is in the interest of both countries to resolve the ongoing issues in talks only. And this talk is also different in many ways. That this comes after a 5-point agreement. This comes when India is in a position of strength in South Bengal also, because it is occupied dominating heights on Spangor Gap either side. It dominates Moldo. Earlier we were talking to them to request them for status quo ante, but we didn't have the leverages on the ground. Tactically, we didn't have the leverages. Officially, we didn't have the leverages. But that has changed now, and we have the leverages on the ground. So we are talking from a position of relative strength. So that is the change, and I hope and expect that sense will prevail among the PLA, among the Chinese, and they will disengage from friction points, and not only friction points, they will complete the disengagement process as been agreed upon in the 5-point program, and let us see peace and tranquility back on the line of action control.
So that means we are talking from the position of strength, and maybe we have a better bargaining power, since I think we have now captured 6 more features lately. So is that so?
Yes, definitely we are speaking from a position of strength, but capturing 6 more features would not be the correct thing to say, because these are features which have been occupied by us on our own side of the line of actual control. So this is our territory. So on our territory, we don't have to actually capture.
Yeah, actually wrongly phrased. I'll say occupied.
No,
yeah, correct.
yes, not only our, even the media studies, number of media houses are saying captured.
Yeah,
so I just wanted to say that. So we have occupied our own territories, and today we speak to them from a position of strength. The Chinese are now worried. They're wanting us to go back and vacate these heights. So that is where the challenge lies now. How much will the Chinese vacate? How much will we vacate? What is the disengagement process? What is the monitoring that we carried out? What is the transparency in the disengagements? So this is a long way ahead. It is not going to be easy right now. But the fact that we are talking means that both sides are willing to disengage.
But if we talk about expectations, sir, the China, when we refer to the September 10 talks between the foreign ministers and the agreement, 5-point agreement, even then, I mean, China has not budged, and we have seen how they have disregarded all agreements and other. So if they can disregard agreements reached at that level, so what is the expectation that from the core commander level, it will be fruitful?
Yes, you're right. I will not say there is no trust or lack of trust among India and China. China's treachery at Galwan will go a long way. We cannot trust what China says. We cannot trust what China does. We have to trust ourselves. We have to trust our own strengths. We have to trust our own resilience, and we have to prepare for all contingencies. And we need peace through preparedness. We cannot just hope that they will follow the protocols of old. We will tell them and they'll go back. That is not going to happen. They have come here to stay, and the only way they'll go back is when they feel the cost of it, when they feel the pinch of it, and when they feel that they have more to lose than to gain. I do feel that China for once has chewed more than it can bite, and that is where our strength lies right now. They have extended themselves, and the winters are on, and they do not have seasoned troops, and we are in a stronger position as far as spending the winters in the heights is concerned. It will also be at a cost to us. So that is where I feel that negotiations may yield results. I reiterate, may yield results.
So after the last foreign minister level talks, Chinese foreign minister was quoted as saying that we agreed on everything else, but there should be no fresh violation, which actually caught my attention. That means whatever they have done has been done. So now there should be no action, no further action. So how do you see that?
That is the Chinese way of doing things. That's nothing new. They believe in doing something and they say, okay, now let us stop it, and they don't go back. So that is where I'm saying that we have not fully trusted them. We have done what is in the best interest. So our on-ground strength of the military, of the army, will give us a better negotiation power on the tables. So that is how these talks are important. We should understand that talks were requested about 10 days back. It will take 10 days for China to sort out a strategy and accept the talks. So that means there is decision dilemmas on the side of the Chinese side. We are very clear as to what we want, but China is redesigning or redefining its strategy. So that is how it's taking time.
Is it indecision or redefining their strategy, or is it that they are deliberately prolonging it so that winter comes in and then there will be no point in talking?
They are definitely buying time. There is no doubt about it. They are buying time, but they also want to keep talking. Otherwise, these talks would not have taken place. Winters will be, like I said, they are also preparing for winters, and we are also preparing for winters. We are prepared, well prepared. But in winters, we have an advantage over the Chinese, as we have seasoned troops, we have battle-hardened troops, we know high altitude warfare much better than them, and more importantly, we have the support of the people of Ladakh. The people of Ladakh are very hardy, they are very steady, and they are very nationalistic. They will do anything for their land and for the army there. We have seen them earlier also. They and their animal they carry the the
Supplies.
military equipment, supplies,
Yeah, right.
whatever you need in help us in casualty evacuation when the helicopters can't come. So that is the strength we have. We have the strength of the army and the people of Ladakh.
So when we talk about winters, harsh winters, and India has got the actually real experience of occupying these. Like if you talk about Siachen, we have been doing it for maybe 30 years or so. We have been there, and we know how the conditions are, how to weather it. So will it be the same for Chinese? I don't think they have done it earlier.
No, Chinese do not occupy. You see, we are occupying not only Siachen, we are occupying
Kargil
the heights
also,
of
yeah.
Kargil,
Kargil also,
Kargil,
yeah, yeah.
Dras heights, which is one of the coldest places. Having traversed these, the land of control, land of actual control, we are also occupying the highest points, not only in Ladakh, but in Sikkim. Sikkim, the heights at 5,500 meters plus. We are occupying heights in West Arunachal Pradesh, which are again about 5,000 meters. We are also occupying the land of actual control in Arunachal Pradesh, which is a little lesser. So we have the expertise, we have the junior leaders, the units which are experienced high-altitude warfare. They are used to deploying out there. We used to challenges. We know what is required. Whereas Chinese PLA is an army of conscripts. They are 40% conscripts. And these conscripts cannot be in the technical arms, they cannot be in the Air Force and the Navy. So most of the conscripts are in frontline units like the infantry, the artillery, and the mechanized forces. So a 20% turnover impacts the cohesion of forces. And they'll find it very difficult when a man who's looking at 6 months of tenure or 3 months of tenure or 1 year of tenure is looking over his shoulders to go back to his family. And also because of the one-child policy, there is risk aversion among the PLA soldiers. They don't want to take risks. They do not like hardships. Unlike our soldiers, we are the largest voluntary force in the world.
Right, and we have also good news that Leh Manali tunnel, the crucial tunnel, is being, I think, opened on October 3rd. That will also be crucial for ensuring the supplies to these mountains, isn't it?
So that will change everything because right now our two roads, the Rohtang Pass and the Zoyla Pass, are closed for about 4 to 5 months a year. So we find it only aerial way. But with the Rohtang tunnel and the Padam Zanskar road coming up to Nemo, we have a 12-month access to Ladakh. So that changes everything because we can keep supplying. We do not have to stop the way we used to stop earlier for about 270 days, 290 days, 300 days also. So that is going to be a game changer. It will give us the logistic stamina which we want. It will also help us to move the troops when required. It changes everything. It changes the complete complexion of our deployment in Ladakh and also support to Ladakhi people.
So, in a sense, there's a huge difference between 1962 and now in terms of logistical support, also, isn't it?
There's a huge difference. There's no comparison. And 62 was way off. We are a much stronger nation. We are a much experienced armed forces. Our army is a high-altitude, seasoned army, which was not so there earlier. So we have to see that. And let us not keep talking of 62. If we did 1967, we know what happened to Nathala.
Right.
It was just 5 years after 62. We know what happened to the Chinese. And we've been dealing with the PLA for the last so many decades. We are deployed all along from Karakoram to Kemutu. They are not deployed. They are occupying a few passes and a few positions. But we are deployed all along. So that is our strength. Our strength is hybrid warfare. Our armed forces, our Air Force, our Army, our Navy, they are up to it totally. They're thoroughly professional armed forces, committed, disciplined, and that is where the difference lies.
And when we talk about 62, even the Air Force was not actually used properly. But now we have Rafale already carrying out familiarization sorties in Ladakh. So how do you see that development?
Yes, in 1962, whatever reasons, we did not employ the Air Force. But today we have the Air Force fully mobilized, including the Rafales which are newly inducted that are carrying out operationally familiarization missions in Ladakh. So that is a different change. In the Air Force, we have the 3T advantage, what we say. We have the advantage of terrain because our airfields are at lower altitudes. We have the advantage of training, that is better pilots. We have the advantage of technology, that is better machinery and aircraft. So in the air power, we are much better. We have a good air defense system. So we have the logistic support of the Air Force, the C-130s, we have the C-17s. So we have the Chinook helicopters, the Apache helicopters. So a lot of good things have happened as far as the Air Force capital is concerned. So today we have all round, not only air defense, we have tactical, tactical air operations. We have full capability, and we can do whatever we want.
So if you talk about the familiarization of Rafale, is it about the familiarization of the machine about mountains or the man behind the machine?
It is both. You want to operationalize the aircraft in certain areas. There are methodologies to it, and that is where the Air Force is doing that. We operationalize that in the mountains. There are differences in the machine and flying, and in any case, it is also a good signal to China that we have the Rafales, which are the state-of-the-art omni-role aircraft.
Because I asked this question because we have already tested our men behind the machine during Kargil. Not only tested, they proved very successful. How to operate in mountains and without crossing the LOC also. So what's new?
Yes, that was very difficult times. Without crossing the LEC, the Air Force had to carry out the operations out there. So that is where the Air Force was, the pinpoint operations in high altitude warfare. If you've seen the video of a MiG-29 upgrade flying above the earth, it is a beautiful sight. It needs a very highly skilled professionals to fly such a machine in such altitudes, the way it's flying. So this is what we are seeing is a thoroughly competent, operationally prepared Air Force.
So at the same time, China has been conducting exercises in their hinterland, and then they have been releasing videos and other things. Is it part of psychological operations, or what is that? Actually, they want to try to terrorize India or maybe Indians. Is that the tactic?
I think this is part of the psychological operations. There was a video of the PLA in the Global Times regarding carrying out airborne drop jumps.
Yeah.
And I am a paratrooper myself, 40 years of paratrooping. They have carried out the airborne exercise of helicopters at 4,000 meters, they say. And when they land in a perfect field which is green. With the vegetation out there, helicopters are not the machine which carry paratroopers at that altitudes. Helicopters are slow-moving machines, and they'll be very vulnerable in case they do that. We've been carrying out airborne exercises in altitudes, and the first, the highest ever tactical airborne drop in the world was done on 13th September 1988 in More Plains, which is the base of Kandangla. I was part of that exercise, and I got injured in that exercise also. But that is our capability. We've been doing this year after year with full tactical loads from fixed big aircrafts. They are doing it from helicopter operations. So there's a difference. These are all psychological operations. Helicopters will not be able to do any meaningful tactical drop in operations because it's a very slow-moving aircraft and it can carry very little in terms of men and material.
So could it be like they have already the capabilities and now they are showing this off as something else, maybe to mislead or something? Could it be like that?
No, we should not underestimate the PLA. I will not say that. But we should also not get carried away by the psychological operations they are doing, releasing videos every now and then. We should take this as military men. We analyze all these things. We were doing it over the years. And let me assure you and your viewers through you that we know their games, we know their capabilities, we know their capacities, and we know their weaknesses and their strengths. And we are fully prepared to thwart any ill designs, any mischief which the PLA can bring upon our territory and our country.
So while we talk about India, China in the Ladakh sector, that face off, at the same time China is making intrusions, the air intrusions in Taiwan. Last 2-3 days we have seen that several Chinese fighters have intruded the Taiwanese airspace. at a time when the US Undersecretary of State was there, and Taiwanese president has said that China is a threat to the region. So how do you see that game also?
China, yes, China mobilized there were four of the theater commands. So they have mobilized the theater command, the southern theater command and the eastern theater command. So that is a fact. And they are looking at South China Sea, they're looking at East Sea, they're opening up all the fronts. It is best they take advantage of the pandemic and this thing is an opportunity to carry out a military coercive strategy, which is part of their overall approach. It is jet trap, it is wolf diplomacy, and it is military coercion. So that is what we are seeing, and they have also demonstrated their missiles, which can be fired upon, including the intercontinental ballistic missiles. So that is what China is doing. They are demonstrating their will, and they are not backing down. And this is something which all countries, neighboring countries, are also taking note of. It is not only India, it is also the USA, it is also other countries, Japan and Vietnam and other countries which are neighbors of China, the South China Sea, East Sea. So that is what China is doing. So China will continue to do this for some time, but I feel that China will not cross the red lines, and they will keep it below that. Their aim is to get nations to agree to the China narrative. Because Belt and Road Initiative is their China dream, and they will not let that happen. And the economy, they will have to maintain the economy to ensure that they challenge the US in the long term, which is the China strategic intent and aim.
So I'm trying to understand these air intrusions where there is a message, because as I mentioned, those intrusions happened when US Undersecretary of State was visiting Taiwan for the first time in all decades. So was it a message by China to US or Taiwan or to both?
It was a message which China has been doing. Whenever there is a high profile visit, China does this signaling, and it's a message from China for Taiwan and other countries that whatever USA may do, USA may or may not support you, but we are always there, and you have to agree to us. China, one China policy is very important to them. That is what the Communist Party wants, and that is what they are trying to do. It is a strategic signaling to US that will not back down, will not blink. It is a strategic signal to the neighboring countries, Taiwan and Vietnam and Japan, that we are there, and please make sure that you follow our narrative and do not side with anyone else.
When we talk about Taiwan, Taiwan has also issued warnings to China that they will not take it lying down. But I may ask you a question, although you are not a diplomat, but as a military man, India has not actually, has been reticent in accepting Taiwan or giving much acknowledgement to it. So is it time now, since China has launched aggression in Ladakh or Tibet and all that, it's there. Should India now openly come out in support of Taiwan?
Yes, China is not bothered about the sensitivities of India. I see no reason that why we are a strong nation. We are a responsible nation, and why we cannot, very raw statements for Taiwan, for Tibet, for even the East Turkmenistan. They are taking advantage of all the nations. So I think we'll have to look at our interests and not at China's sensitivities. If it hurts China's sensitivities, so be it. But it has to be measured. It has to be not anti-China, but it has to pro-India. It should serve our purpose.
But China has been violating our sensitivities, whether it be Kashmir or Gilgit, Baltistan, other areas. They have not been so sensitive to our sensitivities. So why should we be sensitive?
No, I'm not saying be sensitive. I'm saying that we should not be. We should, but it should be a very measured sort of a thing. You see, we have a policy which has stood the test of time. But China has violated all protocols, all agreements. And it is time for India to stand with Taiwan. And we've been with Tibet, but we have to now play the Tibet card. Because even on the LAC, let me tell you, Ajay, this is one of the major worries of China will be a Tibetan uprising if things go wrong. So they'll have to deploy a lot of their combat power for real area security and make sure that their real areas are secure. And China would be aware of that, because China is not very welcome in Tibet, though they may have done whatever they have done. but Tibetans are not for the Chinese. So we'll have to play it smart. That's all I'm trying to say.
So shall we create hype over Tibet now? Should we?
Yes, we should it should be very nuanced sort of approach, and the government of exile, the Tibetan government of exile is in India, and they can start. We always called it Tibetan Autonomous Region, and we should go back to calling it Tibetan Autonomous Region. We should not even call it India-China border. India-China, it's a India-Tibet border.
Okay, we are running out of time. So one last question. When we talk about Quad, was among the Quad countries, maybe America made some noises initially when the Ladakh standoff started. Australian High Commissioner has made some remarks. Otherwise, it has been a kind of silent grouping. I mean, they have not really come out in full force in support of India. So how do you see that?
See, Quad, unfortunately, there is convergence and congruence, but every nation has got both USA, Japan, Australia, India have their own narrative, own positions in that. So somewhere we got to sit together and we got to synergize this and to make sure that we have defined ends, defined aims of Quad, and we work towards it. We support each other because we need to find to balance. China, Australia has come out with something, Japan with something, US with something, India has got a position out there. But yes, Quad needs to be exploited and it needs to be strengthened, but that will take time. It is not happening right now.
Okay, sir. I think it's a long haul. The whole issue will continue for some more time. Thank you so much for participating in this debate, sir.
Thank you very much, and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. This is all in the agenda today. Thanks for watching. I will be back with another important topic tomorrow. Till then, goodbye.